Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler, and today we're going to be talking about the importance of schedules and routines. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. I am a homeschool mom who has a handmade business, and all my videos are typically about homeschooling and working at home. So let's get into the video. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 important steps in implementing some kind of schedule or routine to your homeschool if you've never had one. And this is great for the beginning of the year and for first-time homeschool parents. Now, as a former teacher, I know the importance of having a schedule or routine. If I ever entered a classroom of 30 kids and they did not have some type of concrete schedule or routine, those kids typically would be hanging from the ceiling. Now, not to brag on myself at all, but typically I had a very well-behaved class, and I always told the other teachers who were wondering how I did it, I told them it is our schedule. Really, it's our schedule. It's our schedule and my students knowing what kind of expectations that I had for them with their behavior. Now, this is backed by research, it's backed by science, and really it's backed by me and all of my experience with kids and my own homeschool kids. So, what does having this schedule or routine do for our students? It lets them know what you expect from them as an adult, as a parent, as a homeschool mom, as a teacher. They know right from the beginning of the day what you expect out of them. That is super important because kids naturally want to make adults happy. They do. Most kids really do want to make you happy, especially as a homeschool mom because you're their mom. They want to make you happy. So they want to know what you expect out of them as their parent. Now, it also gives them boundaries, and it also lets them know ahead of time, which can be good for some students with anxiety. It lets them know ahead of time what's going to happen. I have a younger student who is always, Mom, what are we going to do next? What are we going to do next? What's coming up next? But with our homeschool routine, he knows exactly what's coming next, so there's no question in his mind, there's no worry in his mind that we're going to do something hard. He knows exactly. After spelling, we do phonics. After phonics, we do math. He knows exactly what to do, and he can go from transition to transition without any questions. And he is ready to go mentally, and he is ready to go with his pencil, which is great. So now let's talk about the 5 things that we need to do if we've never had a schedule or a routine before. First, observe. Observe your kids in a natural setting with the schedule that you have now for them. If you have one, or however your day's going, how do they behave? How do they go from transition to transition? Those transitional periods can be really, really stressful if your kids don't know what's coming next, or if they're just antsy, if they haven't had a break and they need to do a little bit of running around. Transition periods are typically the hardest periods, especially when you are a public school teacher, because going from the hallway to lunch or going from, English to math, everybody's shuffling around and, getting out new things, and that's when the jitters start happening. It's the same thing, just on a smaller scale in homeschool. So when they know what's coming up next, your kids are just automatically going to go to the next thing. So observe your kids, see how they behave, see what their natural behaviors are with these transitional periods, and write that down. Write down any troublesome areas or any areas that you think might need work. Now, number 2, you need to write down some kind of basic schedule. So the difference between a schedule and a routine is a schedule will be like 8:30 we do this, 9 o'clock we do this, 9:30 we do this, and you have specific times, okay? A routine is more like, okay, first we do morning basket, and after morning basket we do English, and after English we do math. It's not set times, and every day could be different as far as what time it is when you start school, but you just transition to each subject at the same every single day. And that's how we run our homeschool. We started out on a schedule and we gradually moved to a routine. So now if I have a couple orders that I need to do in the morning, the kids are okay with that, and we start morning basket and we just go right down the line. So now, the third thing you need to do is display that schedule or routine in a place where your kids can see it. Whether or not you have a schedule for each child, or if you have one for your entire homeschool, you need to make that call. So if you have kids who are drastically different in age and they have different needs and different table subjects that you can't do all together, then you probably would benefit from having a schedule for each of those children. even though it is a little bit more work. I have to do a schedule for each of mine. Now, the families who do a lot of the same subjects together and you teach all as a group, one schedule will probably work better for you. Display it in a place where your kids can see it so they know exactly what's coming up and they know mentally they will mentally prepare themselves for that subject. And it will get easier as you go along. Now, write out some rough rules for your homeschool. I know that this sounds a little bit crazy to some parents, but I do have some rules for my kids, even though there's just 2 of them. And I do that because it teaches them respect, it teaches them patience. And for me, most of my rules are things like, if I'm instructing you, please don't get up and go play with toys. Make sure you're paying attention when somebody is speaking to you. Another rule is if I'm helping your brother, please be patient and wait your turn and don't interrupt. Things like that. So think of things that might be beneficial to you, any trouble areas, and write those down as rules for your homeschool. And kids will naturally kind of fall in line with that. And we have a little bit of a reward system that I talked about before. We give them tickets and they can buy things at the end of the week with their tickets. Now, the last thing is make changes as needed. So go through a couple of weeks with your schedule or routine, and if you see any areas that might need to be changed, go ahead and just change it. It works. I have, changed my schedule probably several times in the middle of the year just because our needs change and their needs change, or our subjects change, or curriculum changes, all kinds of things. Just change it as needed. Write it in pencil. And you will see that kids will actually start behaving a little bit better. And it's one of my secret weapons to getting my students and my homeschool kids to behave and to do what we need to do. So now, of course, this doesn't always apply if you have kids with developmental needs, so keep that in mind. So if this is your first time here, I hope that you will like and subscribe to all of my videos. And if you are also a business owner, make sure you check out the link down below. I have a great free class for you. So I will see you guys next time. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave them below. Have a great day.